Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Hockey Raiders NHL News and Rumours Rundown. My name is Jim Parsons. I'm here with thehockeyraiders.com. Got lots to talk about, some massive changes with a few organizations in the NHL, some rumors, some trade talk, injury reports, all sorts of things going on. We're going to get to that right away. But before we do, just a quick reminder, if you want to get a hold of us, you can do so in the following ways. You can follow us at Twitter at The Hockey Raider. You can go to the facebook.com/thehockeyraiders page. You can go to thehockeyraiders.com. Or you can get the newsletter, morningskate.io. If you want to get the morning newsletter every day, get a little tidbit of what's going on in a fun, kind of interesting way, you can definitely sign up for that. All right, let's get into some of the bigger stories that are happening right now. Obviously, the Vancouver Canucks made some major changes. GM Jim Benning was gone. A bunch of the assistant GMs were gone. Executives were gone. Travis Green is gone as head coach. Jim Rutherford comes in. He's now the vice president or president of hockey operations and the interim GM until he finds another GM, and the search is on. There are a lot of candidates being listed here. I can't even get into the huge list of them all. Stan Smeel, Jason Botterill, the Sedins, even Marc Bergevin out of Montreal. There's a ton of people up here that could be in the mix, and it sounds like the candidate that Vancouver might be looking for here is somebody who could potentially take over for Jim Rutherford in the event that Jim Rutherford decides to step away, wants to retire at some point in the next 3 years. That's how long he got his deal for. So we'll see. Not really sure. Bruce Boudreau obviously is now the coach in Vancouver. He got a 2-year deal, so they're going to be working in tandem together, but they need a GM to kind of come in here and work with Jim Rutherford, who is not afraid to make changes, by the way. He is known as a guy who takes big swings on trades, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Philadelphia Flyers made some major changes too. Alain Vigneault has been let go as the head coach. Lots of talk about who might come in to take over that role. Rick Tocchet might be among the favorites. We'll see who else is up for grabs here, or up for speculation here. The talk was that the Philadelphia Flyers didn't want to spend a ton of money on a new head coach because they still owe $5 million per season to Alain Vigneault, even though he's been let go. That's not apparently true. The money is not the main determining factor here in who they hire. Now, it doesn't mean they're going to hire the most expensive guy, and it doesn't mean they're not going to hire Mike Yeo, who's taken over as interim coach. But it just means that the money's not the factor here. So they're going to be looking for the best candidate in Philadelphia, and we'll see what that means in terms of the coach coming up here. Evander Kane, he's playing with the AHL's San Jose Barracuda for the first time. He's playing in the NHL, and there's a lot of teams watching him. 6 NHL scouts have come to that game on Saturday to check it out. Among the teams that are interested, Boston, Dallas, Pittsburgh, Detroit, Toronto. They're all kind of in the mix here. We'll see what happens. San Jose obviously wants to move Evander Kane. He's not welcome back with the team. There's lots of speculation about whether or not they'll retain half of his salary, which sounds like is accurate. That means some teams are going to be interested. If a third party gets in here, could be even less than that. So $3.5 million for Evander Kane could spark some interest among teams. And clearly, his first day in AHL game, he's got 6 teams watching him. So we'll see where that goes as well. Ben Bishop, unfortunately, out of Dallas, some bad news there. He was put in the AHL for a conditioning stint, and 1 game later, he's been recalled and put on the LTIR again. Jim Nill basically said Ben Bishop's career is over. He's not going to be playing anymore. He's not going to officially retire, obviously, because he's got another season left on his deal, but he's not going to be playing any more games. So the 4-headed monster in Dallas for goaltending is now the 3-headed monster. Ben Bishop is out of the equation. He won't be coming back to the NHL. What that means for Anton Khudobin probably hasn't changed that situation much. He's still being shopped by the Dallas Stars, and Braden Holtby, Jake Oettinger would probably be the 2 goalies in Dallas that will be taking most of the starts from here on in. So congratulations to Ben Bishop on a wonderful career, but it's sad news to hear that he will not be returning to the NHL, and he will probably not be playing another game in his NHL career. All right, finally, Tyler Toffoli. He's out 8 weeks with a major injury, surgery on his hand. There's also speculation that maybe he won't want to be part of a Montreal rebuild if Montreal goes that route, right? Jeff Gordon's now in there as the executive vice president of hockey operations. Don't really know what's going to happen with their GM search. We don't know what's happening with everything else that's going on in that team, whether it's Brendan Gallagher on the move or Ben Sherrod on the move or Tyler Toffoli on the move. But there could be teams interested in Toffoli, so we'll see what happens there. All we know right now is he's going to have about 8 weeks to sit aside and watch what the Montreal Canadiens do. Right now, that team is a mess, and they're not winning, and there's lots of changes rumored there, so we'll see what happens. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us this week. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to check out thehockeyraiders.com, or, like we said, the newsletter, the morningskate.io newsletter. You can check that one out, too. And we'll talk to you next week as we have more information for you, and we hope you enjoy this weekend's hockey. Have fun.